Have you ever wondered if the people around you are truly sincere? Do the friendly smiles, warm handshakes, and sweet words always reflect genuine admiration? Or do they sometimes hide jealousy and lies? Human beings are social by nature, but our relationships aren't always built on honesty. Some people wear masks so convincing that it becomes difficult to separate sincerity from manipulation. Stoic philosophy, developed thousands of years ago by thinkers such as Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, gives us a framework for living wisely. The Stoics taught us how to remain calm, how to judge people by their actions instead of their words, and how to maintain our peace even when surrounded by envy and deceit. Today, we'll explore 10 powerful, Stoic-inspired methods to identify jealousy and deception in others, while also reflecting on how these insights can protect us from toxic relationships. This is more than just advice. It's a practical survival guide for your emotional well-being. If you stay until the end of this series, you'll not only learn how to detect jealousy and deception, but also how to free yourself from their destructive effects and build relationships rooted in sincerity. Lesson 1. Observe actions, not words. One of the most fundamental principles of Stoicism is simple yet profound. Don't believe in words, believe in actions. Words are easy to manipulate. They can flatter, deceive, or even outright lie. But actions? Actions expose a person's true nature. Think about this scenario. A colleague praises you in front of others for your promotion, but later you discover that they have been undermining you behind your back. Which do you trust, their words or their actions? Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This highlights that virtue lies in what we do, not what we say. If you want to detect jealousy or deceit, observe carefully. Does this person keep promises, or do they consistently fail to follow through? Do their actions match their words? When nobody is watching, do they still act with integrity? People reveal themselves when there's nothing to gain. Try this. For 1 week, shift your focus away from what people say and watch what they do instead. You'll be surprised how much truth hides in plain sight. Lesson 2. Evaluate their response to your success. Jealousy often hides behind fake congratulations. When you succeed, pay close attention to how people react. Supportive individuals will celebrate with you genuinely, offering encouragement and positivity. But those who harbor jealousy may show subtle signs of discomfort, downplay your achievements, or offer criticism disguised as feedback. For example, imagine winning an award. A sincere friend might say, "You've worked so hard, you truly deserve this." But a jealous colleague may say, "That's great, but honestly, I think you just got lucky." Notice the difference. One builds you up, the other minimizes your effort. Stoic philosophy teaches us to recognize what we cannot control. You can't control whether someone envies you, but you can control your reaction. Instead of getting caught up in their negativity, focus on strengthening relationships with those who truly support you. Reflect on your own life. The last time you succeeded, how did people respond? Who celebrated with joy and who seemed uneasy? Their reactions are windows into their true feelings. Lesson 3. Notice how they treat those who can't benefit them. A person's character is not measured by how they treat the powerful, but by how they treat the powerless. Stoics valued dignity and respect for all human beings, regardless of social status. Jealous or deceitful, people often reveal themselves when interacting with those they consider unimportant. They may show kindness to superiors but treat waiters, assistants, or service staff poorly. This inconsistency is a red flag. Think about it. Someone who mistreats others when there's no personal gain is not only insincere but also insecure. Their respect is transactional, not genuine. Conversely, a sincere person treats everyone with kindness, whether they're dealing with a CEO or a janitor. Try observing this in your daily life. How do your colleagues treat the people they don't need? How do your friends act around those who can't benefit them? These small details often reveal hidden truths. Lesson 4. Distinguish between praise and flattery. Praise is constructive and rooted in honesty. Flattery, on the other hand, is exaggerated, manipulative, and often a mask for jealousy. While it may feel good in the moment, excessive flattery usually has a hidden motive. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When receiving compliments, stay grounded. Ask yourself, does this praise align with reality, or does it feel exaggerated? For example, if a coworker constantly showers you with compliments but disappears when you need support, that's a sign of insincerity. Excessive praise lowers your guard, making you vulnerable to manipulation. Protect yourself by staying objective. Recognize the difference between someone who genuinely appreciates you and someone who uses flattery as a tool to deceive. Lesson 5. Monitor consistency. Consistency is a powerful marker of sincerity. A person who is genuine will act the same across different situations and with different people. A deceitful person, however, will constantly shift to suit their goals. For instance, they may act warm and friendly when they need something from you, but cold and dismissive once they've gotten it. Or they may praise you publicly, but criticize you privately. Stoic wisdom teaches us that our actions should always align with our values. If someone lacks consistency, it signals dishonesty. Observe patterns, not isolated incidents. When you notice contradictions becoming habitual, it's often a sign of jealousy or deception. Reflect. Do the people around you maintain their values regardless of circumstances? Or do they wear different masks depending on the situation? Their consistency or lack thereof reveals their truth. Why these first 5 lessons matter. We've just covered the first half of our Journey 5. Stoic-inspired methods that give you practical tools to spot jealousy and deception. 1. Judge actions, not words. 2. Evaluate reactions to your success. 3. Observe how they treat the powerless. 4. Distinguish between praise and flattery. 5. Monitor consistency. These lessons protect you from manipulation and strengthen your emotional resilience. But more importantly, they guide you toward becoming a better observer of human nature and a more grounded, self-aware individual. As we step into deeper territory, the next Stoic-inspired principles focus on how people respond to criticism, how comparisons reveal insecurity, how failure exposes character, how personal information is shared, and finally, how to trust your inner voice. By mastering these, you'll not only sharpen your ability to detect insincerity, but also strengthen your own resilience against it. Lesson 6. Observe their attitude toward criticism. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." Genuine individuals welcome criticism because they see it as a chance to improve. Their self-worth isn't built on fragile pride, but on a commitment to growth. On the other hand, jealous and deceitful people often view criticism as a threat. They may react with anger, defensiveness, or even retaliation. Instead of seeing feedback as constructive, they interpret it as a personal attack. Consider 2 colleagues. One listens calmly to feedback, thanks you, and later applies the suggestion. The other immediately grows hostile, denies responsibility, and perhaps even gossips about you afterward. Which of the 2 is sincere? Which hides insecurity? The Stoic lesson is simple. Criticism doesn't destroy us, it reveals us. By observing how others handle critique, you gain deep insight into their character. Lesson 7. Notice unintentional comparisons. Jealous people often reveal themselves through unconscious comparisons. They might say things like, "That's impressive, but Sarah still does it better." These remarks may sound casual, but they expose hidden envy. Stoicism teaches us to focus only on our own growth, not comparisons with others. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Jealous individuals, however, cannot stand seeing others succeed without diminishing them. Listen carefully to subtle comparisons. Do certain people always measure you against others, as if trying to reduce your worth? True friends and sincere colleagues don't need to compare. They celebrate you for who you are. When you hear frequent comparisons, take note. These aren't harmless observations. They're signals of jealousy disguised as conversation. Lesson 8. Pay attention to reactions in times of failure. Failure is a mirror. It reveals who we truly are. Stoic thinkers embraced failure as part of life, believing it offered opportunities to learn and strengthen the soul. A sincere person accepts responsibility, reflects, and grows. A deceitful person, however, responds differently. They blame others instead of themselves, hide their mistakes rather than admit them, twist stories to protect their ego. Imagine a coworker who misses a deadline. Instead of saying, "I should have managed my time better," they blame the manager, the workload, or even their teammates. This defensive behavior reveals insecurity and dishonesty. As Heartbreak said, a person's true nature is revealed at times of the greatest adversity. The Stoics would agree. Watch how people act when things fall apart. Their failures speak louder than their successes. Quick pause. If you've found these Stoic lessons helpful so far, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. These small actions help us bring more timeless wisdom to you, and they also spread Stoic philosophy to others who need it. Thank you for being part of this journey. Now, let's continue with the final 2 lessons. Lesson 9. Evaluate how they share personal information. Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." The way someone speaks about themselves and others is a reflection of their inner world. Sincere people share their experiences with humility. When they talk about their successes, they highlight the lessons learned rather than bragging. When they discuss failures, they admit responsibility and show how they grew. Jealous and deceitful individuals behave differently. They exaggerate achievements to impress others. They avoid mentioning failures or shift the blame. They spread rumors or distort information about others. For example, someone may boast about a project they led, when in reality they contributed very little. Or they may reveal a personal secret. You trusted them with twisting the story to harm your reputation. The Stoic approach is clear. Judge people not by what they claim, but by the spirit behind their words. Are they building trust, or are they manipulating perceptions? Lesson 10. Listen to your inner voice. Finally, the most personal and powerful tool, your instincts. Have you ever felt uneasy around someone, even though they seemed friendly? That discomfort isn't random, it's your inner voice, honed by thousands of years of human evolution, warning you of danger. Stoicism reminds us to harmonize instinct with reason. Intuition alerts us, and reason confirms or denies it. Together they become a shield against deception. If someone's behavior leaves you constantly unsettled, if their compliments feel hollow, their comparisons sting, or their actions contradict their words, trust that feeling. Reflect, analyze, and act wisely. Life is too short to ignore your inner compass. Stoics believed peace comes from aligning your inner world with reality. If your intuition tells you something is off, don't dismiss it. Investigate and protect your well-being. Have you ever noticed how the person who left you doesn't actually keep breaking your heart? You do? Think about it. The breakup already happened. The ending already came. But every night you replay it in your head. Every morning you scroll back to their pictures. Every silent moment you whisper, "What if?" And in doing so, you bleed again and again and again. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this and you will find strength. The Stoics believed that pain doesn't come from events themselves, but from the way we choose to interpret and relive them. A breakup is not what destroys us, it's our refusal to let the story end. Look closely. The person who walked away may already be living their new chapter. They may be laughing with someone else, moving forward without a second glance. And yet you remain chained, not because they hold you, but because you keep holding them. You keep their ghost alive in your mind, dragging it through every hour of your life. But here is the hard truth. Love can end. People can leave and chapters can close, but your suffering is optional. The Stoics remind us that the past is outside our control. You cannot rewrite the ending. You cannot force someone back into your story. What you can do is master your response, reclaim your focus, and begin again. Healing does not mean forgetting them. Healing means remembering yourself. It means realizing that your worth was never tied to their presence. It means shifting your gaze from the closed door to the infinite. Doors still waiting to open. Imagine carrying a bag of stones everywhere you go. Each stone is a memory, your first date, your last fight, that unanswered message, that goodbye you keep wishing had gone differently. At first it feels manageable, but as days, months, even years pass, the weight becomes unbearable. Yet you refuse to drop it because it feels like dropping the stones means dropping them. But here's the secret. Letting go of the stones doesn't erase the love you had. It simply frees you to walk again. The Stoic path is not about erasing the past. It's about ending the suffering we add to it. Epictetus said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." And he was right. The breakup happened once, but the way you keep reimagining it, that's why you're still in pain. So today, choose differently. Choose to stop bleeding over what's already dead. Choose to master your mind instead of feeding your ghosts. Choose to honor what was by letting it rest, and honor yourself by stepping forward. Because the truth is this: healing is not a miracle. Waiting in the distance, it begins the very moment you decide to stop clinging and start living. This is the Stoic way, not to deny the pain, but to rise above it. Not to erase the memory, but to free yourself from its chains. And when you do, you'll realize that what you thought was an ending was really just the beginning of your freedom.